You're invited to this online healing retreat, Living in the Now series with Dr. Suzanne Lee and the Arcturians, who provide us with an update on planetary ascension, which for humans means an expansion of consciousness into the fifth dimension.
The people that come to this, they know that they are talking to the Arcturians. They know that they are talking to an extraterrestrial. When your consciousness expands, then your perceptions expand as well. And so what occurs is that you begin to perceive that which was beyond the belief system of your third dimensional reality, because you will not perceive what you do not believe, and you will not believe what you can't perceive. And so therefore, there is that process of expanding the consciousness more and more into the fifth dimension. And as your consciousness expands into the fifth dimensions, your higher perceptions come online, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience. You begin to see things in a completely different manner. You begin to feel things in your body that you never felt before, and you begin to hear messages. And then the other thing that happens is that you are moving into the now. And when you move into the now, one of the common things that our representatives on Earth experience is that they will be, say, going into one room, and then they get there with like this bleep in their consciousness of, wait, what did I miss something? And yes, you did. What you missed is that you left time and you went into the now of another frequency, and in that other frequency you had conversations, adventures, met people, and then you came back into time just a second before or after you left it. So you don't remember what happened because it didn't happen in your third dimensional mind, but you did remember that something unusual just occurred, but you don't know what. And as each of you begin to validate those little moments of, no, I'm not having a senior moment, no, I didn't forget something, no, I didn't get distracted and fall off track. Yes, you did fall off the 3D track, that is for sure. And congratulations and blessings be for that. But what has occurred, that you left time for just a moment and your consciousness is expanding to the frequency, and that you are able to realize that something did occur. As you begin in your third dimensional consciousness to ruminate the possibility that something did occur, then your ability to believe in a higher dimensional occurrence begins to grow and expand. And as more and more you begin to allow yourself to believe that maybe that flash of light was actually a higher being, maybe that whisper in the back of your mind was actually a message, maybe that feeling in your body was actually reminding you that there was somebody else around you in another frequency that you could not yet perceive, but your body could feel it. And the more you place your belief in the fact that you are a multidimensional being, you are expanding your consciousness beyond your third dimensional self, beyond your fourth dimensional self, and into your fifth dimensional self. And as you expand your consciousness in this manner, all of your perceptions, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your self-image of who you are begin to shift. And as these things shift, your perceptions shift to match them. This is a moment of great change in our grounded one's perception of reality. Now, the first ones to be the first leaders will be those that, and there are many, will be those that have been in communication with invisible beings their entire childhood. And they have had to come to peace with that, such as Suzanne. Suzanne had to get a PhD in psychology to totally prove that she wasn't schizophrenic, wasn't disillusioning, wasn't lying to herself. No, it is real. It is true. We are real. We are true. And as more of you, it comes down to percentages. When just a very small percentage of people talk about a certain thing, then, oh, that's on the fringe, that's not a big thing. But as more and more people have webinars, have write books, have seminars, have classes, go on Gaiam TV, communicate with others, lead groups, it begins to get more normal. And this is that campaign that Suzanne has talked about for a long time of make ascension normal. Ascension is normal. It is something that has been occurring since you were cavemen. Do you look like cavemen? No. Now, no. So how did you stop looking like a caveman, and how did you become looking like the humanoid being that you are now? Because you ascended. Ascended does not mean having to leave. Ascended means transmuting into a higher frequency of expression. Now, most of you will not leave Earth because Earth is ascending as well. You are transmuting into a higher frequency, and Earth is transmuting into a higher frequency. And what is occurring is that Earth and all of the beings who are able to follow this transmutation that she is taking, as well as participate and assist with this transmutation, their whole reality will shift up. It's not like suddenly you look different than your reality. That was back in the old times when individuals ascended. An individual would begin to blink in and out and flash in and out of light body, and then one day they would expand beyond that. And if you look at the lives of the masters, they meditated for years and decades. They did not feed themselves for long periods of time. They stayed in a meditative pose, sitting on the ground for a long time. They underwent great sacrifice to release themselves from the third dimensional illusions. And because of these great beings who have done this in the past, now Gaia has expanded her frequency into the higher dimensions as well. And this is not a personal ascension. This is a planetary ascension. So as the humans ascend, the reality is ascending with them. Because we are in the process of taking our reality with us. We are no longer on the process of I, Suzanne, am a human being and I am ascending because I am a good person. No, I, Suzanne, am ascending because I and many others have decided to take a spark of my true higher dimensional self and put it into this old-fashioned earth vessel. Because of this inner spark and because of things that occurred in my childhood to ignite that inner spark, I realized that this is not just about me. And more people are realizing that there is a difference between personal ascension and planetary ascension. And with planetary ascension, everyone comes that can maintain that frequency of consciousness. Now, there are some of the dark ones that are going to be able to actually make the shift. And there are some of the dark ones that will not be able to make the shift. Now, there are some that you might say, oh, they're primitive peoples. But they are people that have always remained attached to Mother Gaia. So they assist Mother Gaia by living within the oneness of her own feedback of what we take, we give, and what we give, we take. And we live in unity with Gaia. And so as Gaia ascends, they ascend because they are one with Gaia. And the same for the animals, and the same for the plants. And the same for the many people that have deeply united their consciousness and their love for the being, the living being, the living planetary being known to you as Gaia. As humans begin to realize that planets are living beings, then they will begin to realize that all planets are living beings. And many of the planets that humans see, oh, no one could ever live there. Well, they don't live there. They live in the core of the planet. And in fact, many of the beings, such as we, the Arcturians, we went into the core of our planet and we lived there. And then we decided we wanted to travel. And at that point, we replicated what was our planet and traveled through the multiverse, which makes our mothership very large and somewhat round. And so, therefore, we are able to move. Now, we are talking about these shifts that happen to us in the now, which is beyond your ability to really count in terms of numbers that you would say. This happened long, long ago, and to your time. But it happened just now with us, for we do not have time. So we are not impatient that it is taking you so long. We are not wondering, why haven't you done it yet? Because we see the full spectrum of you. We see your third-dimensional self, who is grounding the energy field of your fourth and your fifth and your sixth and your seventh and all the way up to your 12th dimensional self. We see this huge pie-shaped cone of light that you have planted into the core of Gaia. And as you walk up this pathway of your multidimensional self, you invite Gaia's energy field to move with you. And no, one person cannot do this. But it moves logarithmically, 2, 4, 8, 16. And then also, the beings who are fully awakened carry up to 10 times more light than the beings who are asleep, and up to 20 times more light than the beings who are lost in the darkness. And so even though the numbers are less of the awakened ones compared to the ones that still slumber in their humanity, their impact on the progression of planetary ascension is much greater than those who have not yet accepted their own light body within them.
Register today for this online healing retreat series, Living in the Now, with Dr. Suzanne Lee and the Arcturians.